Hey there, Rocky. So, Game Changer here. First thing to say, mate, doing really, really well. Very impressed with what I've seen so far in your setup. Obviously, snipers at your level could be upgraded. It was often that you'd have a couple of snipers alongside your platoon alpha because they were even better at taking down the helicopters. But now you've got your Red Eye in the M270s, perhaps don't need to look at those. But certainly when I was your level, I did have a few snipers in the mix there, just to shake things up a bit. Mortarmen's are looking good. Before long, that Force Recon, if you look at a lot of the videos that they use for taking on the Rise event, tanks and Force Recon seem to be the way forward. So when that unlocks, certainly spend some time looking at it. I do get a few people who use the rocket buggies as well in their attack. If you look at that sort of tank distraction, then in out with a rocket buggy, the firepower is quite devastating on those little things. It's just they've got very little armor, so you've got to use them correctly. But that could be something well worth looking at. But again, having the M270s, you kind of have a slower version of those anyway, so you don't have to have a look at that. Your next biggest one, as you know, is the Macarver. When you get a Macarver, a fully upgraded, I've got mine level 8. It's got something like 80,000 health. It's got a machine gun on the front. It's like driving about with a tank with a Humvee strapped to the front. So you tend to find you're picking off the soldiers quite easily, which is the biggest problem you probably know yourself with your alpha setup here. You've got two Abrahams, you've got anti-air in the M270s, but those little troops are little buggers to get rid of, especially if mortarmen are coming at you. So I usually use something like an M270 as a sort of way to kill the men, because I can actually drive and shoot a little bit like you can Humvees and things along that sort of line. So that's the only thing I think you need a little bit of looking at. But if you're happy, then obviously keep the status quo. Regarding air power, so Thunderbolt would be my personal preference at this stage, rather than your Raptors. Your Raptors are all well and good, but I bet you're using them more for clear up than for attack. Whereas for me, I'd probably try and take out the flaks. And then I'd obviously send in the Thunderbolt to obviously hit something, because they're quite devastating when they go in. So if you use them correctly and you've got them at level 10, I would get them in and Raptors out. The Avenger, the only thing I use Avenger for is my defense in my airfield. I haven't used it for attack for quite some time. It's got the same problems Reapers do, that the circle, and obviously easily picked off by machine guns, obviously flak certainly, and things along that sort of line. When you get to 51, spend some serious amount of time getting your Raptors upgraded, because they are absolutely devastating and work really, really well. But the fact that you can actually select an area of the map rather than a building, you can actually take things out quite substantially. Your Bravo looks like you're still an event set up. I mean, certainly Rhinos, you need to be obviously Mercs now when they come. So Abrahams would be your perfect setup for that. But again, looks like you can upgrade your capacity here. So it looks like that's not your correct setup. I dare say you've just used that as some sort of event setup. So we'll not worry about that too much. I like your defence there. 8 mortarmen is exactly what I would have had. I'd probably then have another 8 mortarmen at 5 seconds. Sorry, another 5 mortarmen at 8 seconds. So 8, and then your snipers at the end there. Don't see that's a bad thing. The mortarmen though was always my thing. I'd have 5, and then as many as I could. And I'd be upgrading the capacity of that as well. And I'll talk obviously about your base defence when we have a look at that in the next video, but I'm liking what I'm seeing there. Defence, yeah, again, liking that. I'd probably keep that as it was. There's no reason why that needs changing, so that's good. And helicopters, I mean, like I say, I've taken out the Cobras now, and I've gone for Heinz in those. Maybe you can have a little look at that. But also just consider 28 seconds before they come out and 28 seconds before the next lot come out. Maybe you need to tweak the time on that one. Defenders helipad, airfield. Yep, so again, maybe change. That's where the Avengers start to come in for the airfield. So that's probably all I would say on there, that brother. So yeah, Macarver's your next one. Zeus, I quite like the Zeus, but maybe I'm a bit more old school. And certainly when the time comes, Raptors, and I would dare say look at the look at the Zeus if it allows you to, if that's something you want to take on as a sideline. I would strongly suggest avoid breach. I wouldn't use toss. I haven't found the need of those personally in any way, shape or form, so don't waste any time on those ones in my book. Alright, cheers bro.